Hey there, welcome to another episode of The Big Three. Will West back this week. And to start off, Will, I know you're a huge NBA guy.
Yep.
Love him some NBA. This is the silly season. Can we get some of these free agents deals done already? I'm tired of it.
This is part of it. It's the drama, right? The drama, the soap opera of everything that happens with the NBA is actually better than the NBA itself for the most part. But this year will be kind of cool because let's see what the Boston Celtics can do. Danny Ainge has every draft pick. No one else has one for about 3 years. And yes, Boston Celtics here. You have the Woj report that came out this week that Gordon Hayward, Paul George, maybe Blake Griffin instead of Hayward would be coming to Boston. Would that put them over the top of the Cleveland Cavaliers? What happens is everybody jockeys for position to try to sign Russell Westbrook, LeBron James next year? Look, I know it's a lot, and it's constant, and there's so much noise, but the intrigue is absolutely fascinating.
And you were right on in your first sentence. It is a soap opera, and like sands through the hourglass, these are the days of our NBA lives right now. I don't see any resolution coming in the next week.
Yeah,
I mean, Chris Paul's still hanging out there. What's going on with Paul George? There's just too many moving parts right now.
And what usually happens is we get all this buzz and nothing happens. That's what happens with every trade deadline. That's probably what happens at the end of the day.
Okay, Butch Jones, it came out earlier this week. Athlon Sports ranked their coaches. Only two in the SEC in the top 20. Nick Saban, Dan Mullen coming in at number 19. Butch Jones was ranked 30th. Will West, too high, too low, or is it Goldilocks? This one's just right.
I think it's about right. I think it's the Goldilocks space. I think that for Butch Jones, who are you putting him ahead of that's in front of him on the list? I would put him ahead of everyone that's behind him on the list.
Yep.
So for me, this is about right for Butch Jones. He's done a good job. He hasn't won enough games at an SEC level to say he's a top 20 coach in the nation, though. So 30 is about right.
I actually agree with you. I think this is a really good placement for Butch Jones. When you look at it, 112 total Division I programs at this point, and he's in the top third of that. So we're talking about he has done some great things at the University of Tennessee. Now it's got to translate to those big time wins on the field and taking care of business against the other opponents. We'll see what happens with Butch Jones this season. And lastly, I hate to give them credit, but Florida sweeps the College World Series last night. They become now one of 6 teams to have won a football, men's basketball, and baseball championship ever in program history. They are the only team to have done all of that since 1950.
Whoa.
My question is, I think you would agree with me, Jeremy Foley might be the best athletic director we've seen in our lifetime. Will Florida be able to sustain this success without Foley?
It comes down to Will, right? Will the new athletics director hold accountable all of Florida's programs to succeed like this? And I think that's some portion of it. You're going to have the facilities. You're going to have access to top-level athletes because of that state. You're going to have money. So with that, it comes down to what will your standard be, and will the new AD hold them to the same standard that Jeremy Foley did?
All right, now our extra credit question, and this is a tough one, Will, because it involves a program near and dear to my heart, but some shakeup on the Lady Vol basketball team. We were looking forward to this being a make-or-break year for Holly, having a full complement of players. You get the bad news over the weekend that Diamond DeShields is leaving, and there are positives and negatives to that.
Or is it bad news? That's the other question,
Exactly.
Right?
So my extra credit question for our Tennessee Magic 8 Ball is, will this basketball team be better without Diamond DeShields? It straight up says no.
Ooh.
So they are going to have to replace 15.5 points per game. But if they get better team chemistry, what does that do for this team?
Well, I think on the offensive end, that's the biggest place. Because when Diamond was on the floor, everybody else stood and watched, and Diamond went into isolation, Allen Iverson ball. But I think without Diamond DeShields, the team could play well together. Mm-hmm. She was easily the most talented player. She was the best player. You needed a bucket. She could create her own shot. She would do that. But I look at this and say they will play better as a team without Diamond DeShields. I disagree with the 8 Ball.
I think I'm going to disagree with our expert, too. We might put him on probation for next week. I've just talked to too many people, whether it be Mickey Dearstone, voice of the Lady Vols, Dan Flesser from the News Sentinel, or even our own Brian Rice. I mean, they all have the same common thread that Diamond, for whatever reason, just never quite fit in on this team, and that it could be addition by subtraction. That's going to wrap it up for us on the Big Three this week. We'll see you all in 7 short days.